Happy Tuesday. It is Tuesday today, Tuesday, November 11th. I'm Stefan Rust, founder of Truflation and the Truth Network, which is the underlying architecture supporting Truflation and bringing to you verifiable Truflation and inflation economic data. Um, and we do that 24/7. All the meanwhile, um, some other entities are shut down for 41 plus days. Anyway, so that's what I do. I come here every Tuesday and Thursday, unless I'm really traveling and super busy. But what I bring to you is just some insights in terms of what's taking place in the economy, some of the workings and latest innovations on Truflation.com, as well as on Truth Network and how to access some of the content over there. Let me just check that you're all getting this. You can see this. We got everybody live. I can see I am live. Can you hear me? Is the audio good? And I am getting confirmation that the audio is good. Hang on a second. Live and good audio. Okay, amazing. Thank you. Lots to report. I think we've seen a economy that has been down, or a government that has been shut down for a record period. Who guessed? 41 days. It's now 41 days, coming to 42 days. Today's a public holiday, so a lot of you may not be working today. It's Veterans Day, so in the US, for those of you not there. Governments shut down either way, even if it's a holiday or not, it still counts as a day. Government shut out. The data blackout is shut down. All the meanwhile, Truflation is live, up and running, non-stop, 24/7, 365. So we constantly try to bring to you our data sets. And, it is inflation data, but it's a lot more than inflation data. We're coming up with some really interesting indexes right now, and we're talking to some really interesting institutions that are going to be distributing. One of those institutions, as you know, is our friends at Bloomberg. So Bloomberg has just announced to distribute the Truflation indexes. So we got the Truflation CPI index, which gets updated every single day, live on Bloomberg. You now get the PCE index, which gets updated every single day, live on Bloomberg. Next, you're going to get the employment index, which I will come and talk to you about a bit later on. But today, I'm going to cover off what's going on in the economy, some of Trump's promises around, tariff rebate checks to everybody. We've got something around the air traffic controllers keeping going. Those that work get a bonus. And we then talk about what's going on at Truth Network, some of the interesting innovations there. And then I'll come to Truflation and all the work that's been going on, totally unrecognized by the market, other than people in the actual industry that have been flocking our content. And we've seen a great adoption we've never seen before. So a lot of the team working tirelessly to deliver. These products are now in the market thanks to an ecosystem growing around Truflation and a lot more data out there. But glad to see Bloomberg adopting this. And this is the way, yo, baby. So we're pretty excited about that. And if you can't tell, it's in my voice too. So the BLS CPI 45 today looks like this. So, we've got a lot of people beginning to recognize what Truflation is working on and the benefits of it. But, I think one of the things is I shared with you just now the fact that the air traffic controllers have been down, right? And I shared with you some of the exotic indexes that we have, like eggs inflation. So you can see the price of eggs since Trump came into power, and since we had that whole back in March after he tackled the eggs problem when it was up at like $7.75. This is an average source. You can see here, we pulled it from 4 different sources. As you know, Truflation pulls from 3 different sources each time. You can go find it on the Explorer. You can see it everywhere. So it is verified, locked and loaded, but the price has come down from a $7.73 all the way down to $3.70. So nearly a 50% price drop. So talk about deflation in the last even in the last year. Look at this. In the last year, deflation has taken place. It's at an all-time low compared to here. We can look at it on an indexed basis. So look at this. Indexed wise, it's minus 20.58% from the zero. So look at that. That's pretty amazing. Actually, it's not minus $20 per dozen. We need to update that. I'll just take a screenshot and share that with the team that it's actually 20% down. So we've had deflation in eggs. All the meanwhile, the big topic right now obviously is meat. So let's see, what kind of meat do we have in here? So I can come to Truflation. I can look for meat. I know we have cattle. Let me go and look at cattle. Live cattle futures, feeder cattle futures. So you can see, it's come down a little bit. So who is making these prices go up? This is from the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. This is the price. So you can see we've seen over the last year, we've seen a price increase. It's calculating. Wow, come on, baby. We need more compute resources. We just launched a new product, and that's why most probably everybody's sucking up on the resources. But either way, let me just go back to the US dollar. You can see a slight spike up here. This is since November 6th, but in essence, it's been coming down. So the futures price has been coming down. What other feed? We had cattle. I know we have pork. We have lean hog. What's lean hogs like? So maybe we should create a meat index. What do you think? Would you like to see a meat index? Guys, let me know. Anyway, you can see here a little bump on prices. All of it since really huge drop here, October 10th. So something's going on, not a big drop, so big hikes. So lots of oscillation over there. Oscillation means volatility in the market. So that's the meat index. And we've all been talking about the meat index. We've also been talking about on this show news about the air traffic controllers, right? They're still working. All the meanwhile, the government shut down for 41 days. And Trump here promising a $10,000 bonus. Will this be a tax-free bonus for those working during this period of time? And I think certain air traffic controllers are working, others aren't. And Trump's been complaining about those not going to work, not holding the weight of the US economy on their shoulders. We think it's a phenomenal task. They deserve all the credit that should be going their way. They deserve all the credit for going and keeping travel up. And so one of the metrics, obviously, that we have on the site is number of airport passengers screened. So this is just an indication, not of the airplanes taking off and landing, but more of the airplanes or passengers at the airports. How many are going through TSA? And you can see here, the traffic's up 26%. So people are still traveling, and we're coming to holiday season. So more and more are going to travel. Hence, I guess, the bonus coming into effect. But not only are we going to see that bonus, we're also seeing here what to know about Trump's promise on the $2,000 tariff dividend payment. So there's a $2,000 benefit coming to everybody for the tariffs. This way, of course, Trump gets the support for the tariff initiative and all the work that's been going into driving and creating tariff revenues. So a dividend of at least $2,000 per person, not including high-income people, exclamation mark. What's defined as high-income people? But it'll generally will be paid to everyone, the president wrote in social media on Sunday. Within hours, however, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent cast doubt on the plan, saying the payout could merely refer to tax savings enshrined by Trump's signature domestic spending measure. A tariff dividend may come in lots of forms, Bessent told ABC, yada, yada. So, what is a dividend? The term dividend typically describes a payout to individual shareholders funded by the company's profits. So your ownership in the company is a rewarded in the based on the performance of a company is distributed. If it's generating a lot of profit, it distributes its funds to its shareholders. And I guess as a population of the US, you get money back from the revenue generated, or not necessarily profit, but revenue generated from tariff income. So interesting perspective here. We've seen what that goes to. Where will people put this $2,000? You tell me. What are your thoughts on where people are going to invest in this? We'll do a survey. Let's do a survey on where people are going to spend. Are they going to go to Robinhood? Are they going to buy a bigger turkey? Even though the forecast from Walmart is saying that Thanksgiving costs are down 25%. We're launching a breakfast index, by the way. Stay tuned. We're working with the Agricultural News Network on bringing that to the market. So stay tuned on that and how that outperforms and does different to the overall commodities basket. Anyways, things coming. Again, Truflation working to bring more indexes, custom indexes to respective industries so that you get better insights. Go check out our calculator, by the way. Have you ever used our calculator? If not, please do. It's here for you. You got an inflation calculator. You can choose English or Spanish. We make it available for everybody. Start calculating. It works. Where are you? Which country? You can choose your country. You can then fill it out. What's the period you want? 1 year. And then show average spend. What's your average spend? How much are you spending? Your monthly income. And then it'll go track your expenses and walk you through it step by step. And then you can get through what this looks like. So here, I'm not sharing the tab, but here, go to resources, inflation calculator, and then you can see and do your own personal calculation and see what it's like. So if you're earning 100,000, let's say 100,000, next essential expenses, what are you spending on housing? My monthly rent is XYZ. This is monthly. You can see here, essential expenses, monthly utilities, transport. I'm spending, I don't know, what's my monthly rent? It's, let's say, $5,000. What's my utility bill? Oh man, it's about $200. It was an expensive summer. Groceries, Jesus, I go to the groceries, what, 10 times a month? 10 times a month, I'm spending roughly $150, $100 a month. So that's $1,000, let's say. And my gas price, God, I have to fill up the gas tank. Oh no, I have an electric car. It doesn't matter anymore. So my gas and transport, I fly a lot. So maybe on flights, I'll spend, let's say, $500 on that. So that's it. Out of home eating. What do? I go out of home all the time. What am I doing? Out of home, I go to restaurants maybe once a week because I cook at home a lot. I like cooking. It's much cheaper, more effective. I have a dishwasher, so that saves it, but that's already embedded in my utilities cost. So what am I out eating? Every time I go out, man, these guys order wine, so fucking expensive. So let's say I spend $200 on an out meal out. That's a lot of money, no, that's too much. $100. Well, I don't know. It depends where you live. In some countries or cities, it's really expensive, plus tip, etc. Alcohol beverages, I guess, does that count at home or not at home? What happens if I'm at home? I don't drink. So I spend zero on alcohol, and I don't smoke, so that's nothing. Apparel, I don't buy clothes that much. Maybe I buy a t-shirt every now and then. So let's say I spend maybe $50 on apparel a month. Household durables. Oh man, I just bought a little vacuum cleaner. Have you guys had those vacuum cleaners? The ones that you can just use with your hand that goes between the sofa ledges and stuff like that. I bought that. What's that, about $50? Oh, I bought a Ninja Creamy. You guys have to buy a Ninja Creamy. I mean, it saves you money. You can have low calorie ice cream and you can have lots of it. So I get cottage cheese, fresh fruit, a bit of agave syrup, all mixed up, and then protein powder, a scoop of protein powder, and bang, into a blender, boom, freeze it, and then use the creamy, and it comes out all creamy. It's amazing. But that cost me another, let's say, $50. So I spent about $100 on that. And then insurance, medical service. Oh man, my insurance is, I don't know about your guys, but mine's super expensive. Let's say $1,000. Communications. I don't spend much on communications. In fact, my cell phone provider just called me to tell me they have a discounted package, but I have to sign up for 2 years. I hate commitments for 2 years. I don't want that, but they dropped the price to $20. So that was pretty good. Recreation and culture. Man, I don't go much. I work all the time. Actually, my communication, I need to include my broadband in there, don't I? So that's another 20 bucks. So that's actually, no, that's more. That's about 30 bucks. So let's say this is 50. And then here, admissions, teas. Do I go? Hobbies. I go to the gym. So that must be recreation. So gym, that's 120 bucks a month. Education. What's education? I'm not educating anymore. Oh, I got kids. I pay my kids' fees. Whoa, that's super expensive, but I'm not going to put that. Let's say that's they 1,000 bucks a month. Other expenditure, personal care, financial services, I guess my supplements, my orange juice. No, that's included in drinks and food. Yeah, let's just put in another 50 bucks in there. Okay, there you go. And what's the calculation? Calculating my personal inflation. Sorry, guys, you have to listen through this. Fucking boring. Sorry. But anyway, that's your own calculator. You can do this and check it out. But more importantly, what did we do? Right now, shared with you about Bloomberg. What are we doing here? Excuse me. We launched Truth Network. You can launch your own Truth Network node on AWS with one click. If you have an AWS account, set it up. Boom, super easy. You're automatically up and running, and you've got your own node. How easy is that? One click setup. You got your node, you got all the Truth Network data at your perusal. So go ahead, super quick, really popular. A lot of developers like this. So Vin and his team have been really working tirelessly to bring to you this AMI, use the Truth Node one-click service is live on AWS Marketplace. So I've showed to you where it is at. You can see that 16.5 thousand views, right? And this is on Truth Network. So yeah, it's getting adopted. People are paying attention. You now have the economic data at your perusal on Truth Network. So build, create, and use, and then get attestation. So that's thanks to Truth Network. So here you go. You can set up the node. If you have an account, I haven't signed in and I won't sign in, but here you can go, get it set up. That's one thing. We've also talked about how the government's down, right? So we talked about the government being down. This is coming back to Truflation. All the meanwhile, yeah, they've been down. You could tell us, when do you think we will have a BLS report? So BLS was supposed to come out. We have our economic calendar here. So here you can see this week on Thursday, November 13th, we were going to have the CPI. No. 999, nix, die Bohne. And then we have the producer price index also coming out by the BLS, the Bureau of Lagging Statistics, or the butchered lying statistics, or basically no statistics. Because the biggest problem right now is nobody's reporting. These numbers are not going to come out. What do you think? Will they ever report? They're not going to release it on November 13th. They're still shut down. Will they come in later November? Or will they not come at all? Will we not see an October number? We've seen everywhere how people are reporting that the numbers are getting worse and worse. We can't see the reporting numbers. They're not recording them. They're not sharing them. And you can see just a list of all the numbers that haven't come out. Look at this. We haven't seen the weekly jobless claims. We haven't seen employment report. We haven't seen trade and goods. We haven't seen any of these metrics that have all missed releases because of the shutdown. So all of a sudden, this whole economy, all these financial products that have been created, especially around inflation, tips, $5.5 trillion worth of tips now have no source of truth to be able to calculate and leverage trips unless they were using Truflation, because Truflation is up and running all the time, now on Bloomberg, now on ICE, now on other platforms very soon. Integrated, and all the smart traders are using it, as you all know, and those of you that follow us know about it. But yeah, those are not working. And so, yeah, all of those are down. Yet, all the meanwhile, the smart people are using Truflation. So here you see Kathy Woods from ARK Invest. She's using Truflation in her calculation. And look at when we saw the numbers spike. That's when I tell you, down here, we were pitching like crazy. I mean, I remember talking to so many investors. Everybody thought we were crazy.
Now, Truflation is that measure that we talk about a lot, which is I think it's thousands, maybe tens of thousands of items
Millions, babe.
measured in
Millions.
real time
Millions.
by this organization, Truflation. The latest reading here is 2.5%. So again,
So you can see, but I remember just telling you down here when we launched, everybody thought we were crazy. Nobody cares about truflation. Nobody cares about inflation. Inflation is only 2%. It never spikes. And then we can trust and have our faith in Jerome Powell and Janet Yellen at the time, who told us that inflation is only transitory. Don't worry about it. Boom, it spikes all the way up. Okay, you can argue it's transitory, but what was the cost of bringing this down? Interest rates spiked. Interest rate grew from 0 to 4% over the course of less than a year. Bang, 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 bang. It was machine gun interest rate hikes, right? And now coming down, no, 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 no. Employment, frustration, consumer confidence, super sad. Even saying that we won't even have an inflation, a rate drop in December. What do you think? Where's your heart at? Do you think we're going to see an interest rate drop in December? I personally think so, despite Christmas coming. The market doesn't think so. I've been off. I think Oliver and his team think that there won't be an interest rate hike. We'll only see it in the new year. Let's see. But yeah, just the smart people are using Truflation. That's all I wanted to say. And they're getting that. All the meanwhile, the government's shut down, right? And not only is the government shut down, you can see over here how bad the data is becoming, right? I mean, people are complaining about the lack of reliable data. I think Kublesi wrote a report. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, just how the data is getting worse and worse all the time, right? Kubasi, rather. Here we go. Market reward capex, yeah. Yeah, I won't find it because it just takes me too long, and I don't want to keep you hanging on right here. But yeah, let's see where the government shutdown ends. We have a Tuesday break right now. Let's see. But, not only is Kathy Wood talking about it, we also have our great friend Anthony Pompliano sharing insights on Truflation again. A lot of people and more people. We saw Tom Lee talk about it on CNBC again and again. Also with Anthony Pompliano, he brought it up. We got Daniel DiMartino, Michael Green, all these people that are beginning to use Truflation because it's the only source of truth and it's coming up all the time and it's transparent. You can criticize it. They've battle tested us. Don't think they just picked it up and ran with it. No. They slapped us left, right, and center and questioned our numbers and looked into how we calculate this, question it, run it through their teams. That they have teams of analysts that also review the methodology, question a lot of the sources of data that we have to be able to then confidently make investment decisions on their side using our data sets. So we're pretty excited about that, obviously, if you can't tell. But more importantly, we started tracking other information, right? So if you haven't seen, Truflation launched the US employment numbers, right? So we actually calculate the employments for you. So here you can see 143 million jobs in the US active and 143 million and 143 million 130,000. So you can see a lot of employment metrics here. And again, another astute investor who uses it, Andreas Steno Larsen, a big economist advising a number of hedge funds. Interesting that the new high-frequency employment measure by Truflation gets the same conclusion that I've been ranting on about for the last 2 to 3 months. Employment is re-accelerating, right? So again, counter to the belief that all mainstream media would have you believe that job market is dead. People are hiring. We're hiring new people, different people. It's a transition that's taking place. The job market is moving into new categories. We need different skill sets. And that's the transition that's taking place right now. So there is a lot of opportunity. Grasp it. Lean into this new technology. Jevons Law matters. And if you have paradox, and if you haven't heard about it. I did a podcast about it again. Maybe I'll do it again. Let me know if you're interested in finding out about it. We'll talk about it again. But yeah, that's an interesting paradox that highlights the greater the cost, the greater the drop in economic costs in unit costs based on economic growth, the greater the adoption, and the greater the adoption, the more support is needed. So anyway, yeah, take a look at that. The markets are up, but more importantly, we've done a great insight on how we calculate Truflation Employment Index. So you can see this super easy, and you can see how we calculate it. You can see the red ones are the ones we exclude from all the jobs created, right? And then you can download the methodology if you want a detailed documentation. And you can see here how it contrasts against the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the BLS, or the Bureau of Lying Statistics, or the ADP. The ADP is the sort of go-to standard that everybody's used, but that's just one source. We're using ADP, we're using census data, SSI information, Challenger data, Gray, daily job cuts, WARN. All of these informations are aggregated together in the Truflation Employment Index, and we're going to get this out to you everywhere on any platform you want, and also on Amazon if you want to build a financial product around this. Not only are you going to build a financial product, but the smart people in the room, again, are building financial products around this. They're using the Truflation signal to identify trading patterns, to trade and buy Bitcoin on the blockchain, automated, simple solutions. The Bitcoin blockchain treasury fund, right? So it's a blockchain treasury fund. What is that? A Bitcoin blockchain treasury fund. So you don't need to be a DAT. You can actually do the treasury on the blockchain, leveraging Truflation signals. So when inflation spikes, what are the patterns to do? We've written a whole report on this. So there's a detailed breakdown. You can analyze this. You can study this. You can run this through LLMs. You can use Notebook LM and have this as a podcast whilst you're talking, giving you the summary and the synopsis of this. When and what are observed market patterns? What are the model deployments? This is now all a Python code that is leading and acting as the engine to, sorry, here we go. I didn't share the data, but here you can see Truflation trading signal for Bitcoin, a leveraged opportunity. So here we break down the model, how it works, all in Python. You can read up all about it on your own time, run it through a Perplexity or through a Grok, and then get a summary of this, or even Notebook LM. Yeah, so Quantum is our partner in this. They built this on Chainlink runtime environment, and they're using Truflation as the signal for when to buy wrapped Bitcoin on the various exchanges. So we're super excited to be working together with Quantum MMM, or Quantum as they call themselves. So here you can see the buying patterns. You compare Truflation BitF versus just 100% HODL versus a 50% buy and 50% HODL. So it outperforms a simple strategy. Here you do, this is how it works. So Truth Network provides the inflation data and the inflation regime. And remember, I told you you can just go onto AWS and go load up on your own, run the node, and get the attestation as to when the buying signals happen. And so you come back here, it then goes on to the Chainlink CRE, or at the signal, inflation data, Truflation strategy in Go, and then portfolio weights, and then it goes and executes and adds to the BTF. So that is how this platform works, and it is live today. So people building around Truflation using the Truth Network on top of Chainlink. So this is an amazing partnership that actually shows you don't need, and this runs 24/7. No people, no accountants, no attestation, no documentation, no reports, no legals, no da 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 da. So it doesn't cost you $1 million just to maintain and host this, let alone the custody fees, let alone these fees, those fees. You may pay a bit of gas fees, you may pay a bit of for redemption and withdrawals. Boom, that's it, right? And that may come out of some of the funds that are under there. So anyway, just another innovation come to you for you to assess and work with. Yeah, that's pretty much it. We have a number of economic things coming today. This week, we have the CPI on the 13th, not going to happen. PPI on Friday the 14th, not going to happen. Even if the government switches on, we ain't going to get that data. Will we get a GDP number? Let's see. Yeah, we want to change the confidence calculator. So let's see how that goes. You're seeing a lot of different things. FOMC meeting on Wednesday the 10th. So that's when I think it's the 9th and the 10th. They have their meeting. They get together on the 9th and on the 10th. And then the CPI comes out in December. Anyway, lots of different things. Hope you enjoyed the show. It was got to go now. It was 30 minutes in. I hope it wasn't too long. I did the calculation. Let's do the quick calculation. How is our personal inflation? Here we go. You saw what I filled in. My inflation rate was only 1.77%. Woo! That is 0.8 percentage points under the current national of 2.54. So I am not losing too much money, purchasing power, but that's mainly because I don't purchase too much, so that's okay. And then monthly increase in expenses is $162. So every month I need to, in order to retain my lifestyle compared to a year ago, I need to spend $162 more. Wow, based on my $100,000 income, right? So that's interesting. Comparisons. Let's see. Look at that. There you go. You can compare against the average. Pretty cool. Oh, I'm not sharing my tab. Sorry, guys. Here you go. You can see your personal inflation calculation. We started this at the beginning. Out comes the input. And if I am a subscriber, I can save this. So this is automatically saved. Next time I come back, it is saved. I can download it. Let's see what happens if I download it. Here we go. What does this look like? I haven't done this before, guys. There you go. Whoops, takes me to the analytics page. It's a long tab. Whoops. There you go. Share this tab. There you go. You got your own personal calculator. You can download it. You can see most of it's in the housing category, how it compares. You get a nice downloadable report, and you can see reduce housing costs. What are some of the things you can do? Optimize health expenses. What can I do here? And reassess education spending. What can I do there to try and improve that? Anyway, hope you found this show interesting. Hit the like button, follow the subscribe, and thank you, everybody. Have a great Tuesday, Wednesday, and we'll see you on Thursday. Same time, same place. Thank you. Arrivederci. Buongiorno. Zaijian. Au revoir. Adieu. Auf Wiedersehen. I don't know any more languages. Zaijian. Anyway, see you guys. Thanks all. Bye.